missing bits of body. So far so good for Marvin. Let's take it.
The end of the first lap then, Evans right behind Jenkins in the Ferrari, but I think here, no matter how much power Matty Evans has got, Jenkins is still able to stretch his legs a bit more in that Ferrari Challenge car, feel the spread away a little bit from Peter Chalice, and then fifth place. There's quite the queue for me behind that Ginetta of Everett.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, it's not that Ginetta is slow, it just takes a little while to get all the horses galloping towards one another. But yeah, that Ferrari really did stretch its legs down the start-finish straight. But it's in this middle section that Matty Evans is going to reel that gap in. Here they come again. You know, the Ferrari is going to have to really work very, very hard to keep that BMW behind. On the street, we're seeing the 147 BMW making its way through the twisties, trying to keep up with those ahead of him, which is no mean feat at all. He's doing a great job staying in third position, but the top two are beginning to get a bit of a gap now. Peter Chalice is falling a little bit off the back of the field of BMW now. But yeah, they're all behaving themselves pretty well so far. The grid is beginning to spread out a little bit, but there's lots of fighting still to go through.
Yeah, that's it. It's quite a long race. Anything can happen in 40 minutes, to be fair. And just having a quick glance there at Chris Everill's Ginetta, when he was coming behind the commentary box here down into Agostini, all I could see was just the rear wing opening up above the barrier. And with the really big square end plates on it, it looked almost like the rear wing that you see on the back of the Marcos Mantis GT in the GT Cup. So it sort of scared me for a moment, thinking that one of my childhood heroes was back out the track. But he's under pressure right now.
Lotus 340 on David Harvey, who debuted this year at Thruxton, turned against that car. Really is doing very, very well too. Somewhat much above his weight. Roman Casey was engine in that car. Supercharged monster, but when you've got everybody sweeping past you, the one car I always notice is that Ginetta, that growl, that box shaking engine in that bright red car. It's absolutely glorious, but everyone's doing a pretty good job of keeping their car all matched up. A little bit of a struggle there from the 19 car. That is Robert Hollyman, a newcomer to the club this year in that 964 Turbo. But so far so good, everybody. We haven't seen any major excursions just yet.
Yeah, like you say, mate. Nobody under the 2 minute barrier yet. Fastest lap of the race is recently lap 2 minutes for Jenkins at the moment. 2 minutes .730. I reckon he can probably beat that by the time the race is done, but even still, he's just got to make sure that he hits his marks here, because he's the one under pressure now. Matty Evans and David Fielder queuing up behind him. Two very aggressive, very well worked and well modified BMWs. And then, to be fair, Chalice is actually getting closed in on now by Everill in the Ginetta. He's starting to get a bit of a gap on Dominic Malone. So rather than Everill falling back towards the BMW behind him, he's actually moving forwards in the direction of Peter Chalice. So hoping to continue that one. Great right now.
Going on into Coro. Now you've got to be brave to pull that one off. Didn't quite do it alongside going into Murray's now. Looks like they're going to behave themselves. And this is where the galloping horses of the Chevy Arms Ginetta should really keep that position to him. From there we go. He's now really stretching his legs and keeping the BMW at bay, but he's having to work hard. Look at the gap that's opened up between himself and Chalice. That's cost him quite a bit of time, having to respect. stretches of the field in Colin Wells' car. We don't have the starting drivers for that, so I'm not sure which of the two drivers has started that. Also, that Ferrari, Nigel Jenkins is really stretching his legs at the front. Again, looking at the stream, again, you can see that the BMW is closed back in off the Ginetta again. So now that the Ginetta's had a chance to stretch his legs, it's now going to fend off the advances of that black BMW. For all it's worth, it's going to really struggle to keep the BMW behind. But then, roles are going to be reversed by the time they get back to the Bentley straight again.
It's like some sort of reverse Newton's cradle, isn't it? Rather than the outside balls moving away, it's just the inside ones, the Ginetta. Unfortunately, we've got Robert Holliman in a Porsche 964 Turbo coming into the pits. Possibly one of the prettiest cars in the field, but he was going very slowly around Coram. And now, he's pulled straight into the garage, and that is going to be him out of the race. That's such a shame to see. The Capri just coming out of the final corner now to go past. Make his way down the straight. Dave Roberts, that is. 3 litre. We still have fantastic racing on top. Very, very angry looking BMW in his rearview mirror, milling that mirror very much so, and the other car was a very BMW filled mirror, as we've all had on the M6 sometimes, is Chris Everill as he goes down the straight here, Chris, because again, he's just going backwards then forwards, it's just bouncing from one car to the other. Yeah,
I'm a little surprised that Matty Evans is where he is. Generally, we've seen him get to the front and dance off into the distance. Now, at Donington Park earlier this year, he almost lapped the entire field in his race. Now, that wasn't helped by the safety car, I grant you, but he's really struggling to keep that 147 BMW at bay, and Nigel Jenkins is just dancing off into the sunset. Anything can happen, and then the Ginetta and the BMW swap round, so it does look like the gloriously crowning Ginetta has lost out at last to the BMW of Dominic Manone that's been fending him off, but can he keep that position to himself? We're going to see when the horses get going again on that semi-armed Ginetta.
Yeah, he's just out of Agostini there from what we can see from the commentary box up here at Snetterton. Just absolutely disappeared up the road to the BMW, but then as soon as he changes up, it's almost like he gets into a gear in that Ginetta. Back on the Snetterton again. Nelson, Evans and Fielder not too far behind either. Behind BMW again. This is the thing you've got to which I own myself, which is what they do for me. Through Coram and out of front with Nelson, the Ginetta's just gone completely backwards now. Yeah. If anything, Malone is really catching challenge.
Malone's actually on a very similar pace to Nigel Jenkins, who's just set the fastest lap of the race with that 1:59.793. So he's broken the 2 minute barrier. That's a beautiful Ferrari. But there's not many Ginetta against a Porsche, against a Ferrari, against a BMW, against a Lotus buggy lookalike, and against a Capri. There's not many times you're going to see all those marks and all those models on this track at the same time, and what great racing action it's giving us as well.
Yeah, and the thing is, a lot of the performance is quite equal. We have got a bit of a spread in the field at the moment, but you get GT3 series, GT4 series all over the world complaining about balance of performance all the time, and people moaning about what car's good and what car's not. But even here, this just shows you that no matter what the car is, you can have some great racing. The battle for second place is really hotting up as through Hamilton goes Evans and Fielder hard onto the brakes. It looks like Fielder is closing in. Evans has gone deep. Fields on his right hand side, not even to it yet, but he's going to have some great slipstream down the Bentley straight, that is for sure. We know that Evans, he's not scared of anything, is he really? He's absolutely brilliant behind the wheel. It's so exciting to watch. Again down the straight, actually.
He's gone.
This
That one for the straights, and absolutely fair enough. He's got two very long straights here at Snetterton. Are significant enough to keep the shorter gear cars at bay. Look at that. We've got them right back on top of one another again as they come through bump hole.
Sorry, we've got Malone in the pits. Dominic Malone is in the pit.
Oh no!
Car's still on, but the headlights still on. Out the final corner again, Evans and Fielder.
All the pit lanes open as well, so that's trouble for Dominic Malone. Generally towards the sharper ends,
Now, I wanted to point out as well that David Fielder's got his headlights on. We all know that gives a tricky brake board, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
So, he's trying everything in the book. He'll have the aircon turned off and everything at the moment. Malone's actually going back out.
It's back out again.
Good to see. However, I don't know. I mean, it looks and sounds phenomenal, but it's not phenomenal for his race, unfortunately.
Shaking the no complaint there at all.
No, definitely not. It's great to have these cars rumbling their way down the straight. Right in front of us here at Snetterton, they've got a really, really good commentary box up here. Very good aircon, I must say.
Oh, yes.
But at the moment, fastest lap of the race is a 1:59.793 by Jenkins. Last time out, he was still at the 1:59s as well. He's done 6 laps, and it's the best time, so he really shows the legs now. It was nearly 2 seconds, or nearly 3 seconds quicker than Matt Evans on that previous lap. 8.4 seconds is the gap now. Fielder is only 8/10 behind him in 3rd place, so that fight is well and truly on. I'm just gutted for Malone now because Chalice is all on his own with 3.5 seconds back to everyone.
Yeah, so whether that was taking place, pit lane for 2 minutes, he's still operating the stationary for 2 minute rule. So that's, he obviously had some kind of issue. One of the come back out. Hopefully he'll be able to get that one to the line. It's generally not a good precursor if you're having to come in before the pit lane is open. Still, Matty Evans is fending off the advances of the BMW behind there. Has been the Chalice. There is again the two BMWs. Someone, and we don't want to get more. Glorious Ferrari. It's just absolutely decimated at that time. Border, and again, there goes Matty. Crazy one there. Just stretching it there. Cat and mouse between those two.
Yeah, you've got to love it. And racing like this is the best way. You have certain cars that are really good at the corners and not on the straight. It's almost like harking back to the old days of the British Touring Car Championship when you have Mustangs versus Minis and Ford Galaxies and all sorts. You know, they'd absolutely scream down the straight, but then the Minis would just drive around the outside of them wherever you go. There's liquid being cleaned up in the pit lane from where the Lotus car was. Now, if it's anything like my BMW E90, but you know, from where the left-hand side of the car was, and I'm not going to pretend I know which bit of the engine bay is on the left, so we're going to have to wait and see on that one. Either way, Jenkins, though, like you said there, 58.4, that's an absolute dream lap time, no matter what around here. I mean, it's a long lap at Snetterton, but sub 2 minutes is rapid.
Absolutely incredible stuff. You can tell he's enjoying every single millimetre he's driving. You know, the smile on his face must be bigger than the car at the moment. And again, as we look at the street, that's the battle for second position continuing between the two BMWs. So Matty Evans still fending off the advances of David Fielder at the moment. So he's got another 24.5 minutes of this. So that was not the mandatory pit stop when the pit lane opens. So you know they have got to do that. The strategy may well go either way. And now we have a look at David Harvey in that Lotus 340. He's keeping Chris Everall company in the Ginetta. So a great battle forming there as well.
Yeah, two very different cars. Orange tape all over the front of it now, and I'm afraid it is now ending its race early. So we've had a few drop off in just a couple of laps. 0.6 of a second. It was another 158 for Jenkins last time, 158.7. But Evans has got some real pressure now from David Fielder, and Malone, as expected, is making his way back through the pack, albeit a lap down currently.
And on the back of the other one series, that would be the car of Fielding and Wells. So yeah, he should make fairly short work of that there. Now coming into Wilson, right with the Growie Ginetta as well. So that bit of the circuit getting very busy, as you can see on the stream at the moment. Dominic Malone, he's been around the block quite a number of times. He'll know where he can power his way past. They now head towards Agostini. Is how that Ginetta's going to factor into that particular recovery drive for Dominic Malone will be a little bit more interesting. But they're all behaving themselves. They realistically know where they are in the pecking order compared to one another, but that doesn't stop them having a good old go, does it?
Oh, well, that's it. You know, sometimes we've seen cars in different classes fighting one another because at the end of the day it's racing. You know, even if you've got the same overall pace. You've got David Harvey now as well, so like it's a bit of a pit party. The Ford Capri also on its way in of Dave Roberts, so if your name's Dave or David, you need to pit lane. Nigel Jenkins is hoping they don't call all the Nigels to the pit lane soon as he completes another lap. 9 laps in the book for him, it's a 1:58.9, so it's still 58. Still 7 spots off David Fielder. Coming out of the final corner straight.
He's open for business, and Lance over in the mandatory pit stops now. In the days of old, it would be arrive at your pit stop, get out of the car, shut the door, open the door, get back in, and off you go again. But with the oh wow, young Mr. Fetch getting very sideways in that Ginetta coming through Nelson. And look at this, look at the